Hi, I'm Dave White. I'm from Troy, California. I'm 24 years old, and I have an executive processing disorder, ADHD, and cerebral palsy. I would like to tell you a story of when I first realized that accommodations made a difference in my academic success. I first received time and a half on my exams when I was in high school. I would take the exams in the counseling/advising center. Thanks to the accommodations that I received, in addition to a multitude of tutors for each one of my classes, I was able to excel in high school, balancing 2 sports and my academics each year. So when it came time to trying to figure out which kind of school I wanted to go to for college, I opted to go to a small school. I really wanted that small ratio of professors to students, and I was accepted into a small college. So unfortunately, due to my high grades from high school, the school almost did not provide me with services, unfortunately, but my mom was able to step in and she told them, hey, look, the only way that David was able to excel in high school was because he utilized a multitude of services and he had tutors for each one of his classes. So I ended up receiving the services, and this was a small school, and I was playing NCAA lacrosse, so I was trying to figure out how to balance academics, sports, and just trying to figure out college in general. So once again, these were small classes, and when it came time to take my exams, I just flat out did not want to take my exams in a different building, mostly because I felt like everyone would notice if I was gone, and that my classmates would always ask me, hey Dave, why weren't you in class for the exam? Hey Dave the Wave, you weren't in class the other day for the test. Where were you? What happened? And because of all that stress, I felt very self-conscious, unfortunately. And because I was feeling self-conscious, I flat out did not go to my resource center to take my exams. I opted just to take my exams with everyone else. And I had multiple conversations with my mom about why I wasn't taking my exams in the disability service center. And I would always reply with answers such as, I don't want to be different. And I would also reply with answers such as, everyone would notice that I was gone, and I told her that I was just flat out self-conscious, and the biggest thing was, I was trying to fit in. I was trying to fit in, and because I was trying to fit in and be normal, I unfortunately failed. Because I was trying to act like all my other classmates and pretend that I was perfectly fine and everything, I failed all my courses, unfortunately. I ended up having to meet with the dean, and she told me that I should just take a gap year. I should take a year off from school altogether. And so I did. I took a gap year. I moved back home, and I worked at a ski resort in Truckee. I used the time very well. I really thought about the way that I learn and about my own LD. And that summer, I ended up taking one summer school course. It was history, and I realized that the only way that I can succeed, the best way for me to succeed in school, was just to take a reduced course load. So I ended up transferring to the University of Nevada. Now the University of Nevada is roughly around 20,000, more or less, undergrads. So this is a huge school, and I was hesitant to go back to a 4-year school to begin with. So going back to a school that has around 20,000 students, it was mind-boggling. And I met with the Disability Center on campus, and when I was talking to my advisor, I realized that there's a large amount of students who need accommodations, and I also realized how well the numerous accommodations help me. So now I use accommodations such as the LiveScribe pen, which while I'm taking my notes will record the lecture, and with my ADHD I tend to daydream and doodle quite a bit. So while I'm daydreaming, the pen will still be recording the lecture, so later that night I can go back and see where I was daydreaming, what the teacher was talking about. Great device. I also use a computer software program called Inspiration. So with my executive processing disorder, I have trouble with composing essays and papers. I have trouble with putting together my thoughts in order to compose a thesis and put together my main points. So with Inspiration, I can type in the main points that I want to talk about, and the software will just organize it for me, either in an outline form or in a spiderweb chart, which works out perfectly for me so I can visualize, and it's great technology. And now, rather than being ashamed of taking extended time, I love taking my extended time. I love being able to take my test in a private room and have as much time as pretty much I need in order to take an exam. I have enough time to think about my answers, think about how I'm gonna go about answering, like finishing the test. So I feel like the Disability Center on campus is a very, very safe environment. I go to my disability advisor quite a bit. I go see her about my struggles in classes. I also go see her about my achievements in classes. I go to talk to her about eye to eye quite a bit. So I love that I have a great support system. And this is the story of when I first realized that accommodations made a difference in my academic success. Thank you. I'm Dave White. Have a good day.